What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I got Brian with me from Headwaters Adventure Company today.
Hey. And
this is the Sacramento River at 20,000 CFS. It's up quite a bit because we've been getting a ton of rain. Lake Shasta's full. So we're going to go do a float, check it out. I'm going to be back in the S-14 three-piece only because on my last video, there was some people saying, oh, you got water in the hatches. I was unsure about that. In that first video, I was kind of in a hurry and I just threw it together. So this time I'm going to put the Vaseline on the screws. I'm going to tighten them down, and then I'm going to take it out. I'm going to do some rolls. I'm going to try to get it in some eddies, try to get it in some surf, and see how it performs, you know, in a real world situation. So let's get into it. So thankfully for me, every house has a little bit of Vaseline in it. So I'm just going to put some Vaseline on the screws, and then pop them in there. And apparently that's all you got to do. It was cool to see how much interest there was in this boat, though. A lot of you guys left comments and questions, shared it, so I really appreciate that. I really do think it's a neat niche for a lot of people. Last time it took me 9 minutes to set this thing up. I bet I did it in 5 now, because it is pretty darn easy. So Brian's in the Stratos 12.5 small today, which is a perfect river boat for around here. First thing it's good to do is go ahead and get all air out of your suit. Check to make sure your zippers are closed. Mine's not at all.
Really?
Yeah. Got a last little pop. Well, I'm like starting your day off wet. It's just going right down my britches. Oh man. Thankfully it's a pretty warm day. It's like in the 50s.
Probably.
Kind of crazy.
Oh, it's nice in the sun.
Oh man, it is cruising right now. I love this paddle because it starts off right at the Sundial Bridge, so you got this epic kind of view right from the start of your paddle. That's that. Yep. The eddies are going to be fun today. Such a pretty deal. Even though the river's high, it doesn't feel like double the flow, you know? It doesn't feel crazy. The thing we got to watch out for now is with the water higher, it'll actually push through some of these brush and some of these trees. So you really got to watch your line so you don't get into that stuff. This is an interesting little spot. Let's see what's going on over here. Those bulkheads. Kind of fun. Oh, check that out. Check out that big old heron over there. Too much going on. Oh well. Now let's see what else we can find. Oh, everybody on it. Be able to get in there. Nice. There we go. Sweet. That was all right. I suppose I should stop for a minute and talk about what's going on here. Basically, what Brian and I are trying to do is surf this standing wave on the river. The wave makes a little pocket, and if you can get your boat in there, the gravity wants to push you forward while the current's pulling you back. And it's trying to push your nose off course. So your job is to get in there and try to keep the nose facing upstream by using alternating rudder strokes to keep the boat straight but then you also have to maintain enough of a forward speed to keep the boat in the pocket. So it's kind of like dancing with the river. This particular wave wasn't the most retentive, but I was able to get in there and have a good time. And I was actually surprised at how easily that S-14 was able to maintain its position in the wave. You. No. No. Is he gonna get it back? Little 12-foot boat's too much work, dude. Great place to practice eddy turns. As long as your butt's leaned into the turn, that eddy just takes you, carves you in. You're ready to peel back out, let it grab your bow. See how I'm always tilted into my turn? So it's the opposite of flat water. In flat water, I use my outside edges to maintain speed and carve the boat. In the current, you're trying to slow the boat down. You're trying to present your butt to the current. So when the current hits your boat, it takes you with it. So you're always leaning in the river, leaning out in flat water. Not to make it more confusing than it needs to be. What a funny place for a wave. Dude, this might be the spot right here. Keeping a good line of sight on Brian, so I gotta surf this when I can. What a weird spot. Right where the river makes a Y. One thing I love about the Sac is all these little side channels. Like the main river's fun, but it's also cool to get back in these little nooks and crannies and explore around. Normally this is like feet above our head. I was hoping this was going to glass out and be a nice green wave. Nothing there.
It's got to at some point though, right?
Yeah, right. There's got to be a flow that it does.
Yeah.
It was just wild because it went from like a couple thousand straight up to like 15,000.
Oh, dude, they dumped like 10,000 CFS over that.
Yeah, because I filmed the first video review just a few days ago in this, and it was low. And then the next day you hit me up and I'm like, what? I was just there. Oh, that's in the blackberries. That was not as catchy as I expected it to be. Notice how when I'm eddying out, my body is rotating. It's facing where I want to go. I'm not really paying attention to where my boat's at. I'm like over here. Wow, these are some powerful eddies. It's so fun. Yeah. Yo, Derek, how do you think? So fun. Oh man, I love kayaking. Oh. It's actually fun to be in this little boat. I haven't been in the S-14 in dynamic water since I shot that first S-14 review. It's a really fun boat to kind of peel in and catch eddies and peel out. Even though it's 14 foot, it's real maneuverable. Yeah, I think I said that in the initial review, but I stand by it. The little S-14 punches above its class. It paddles like a wreck boat when you need it to in flat water and calm water. But if you want to get dynamic, it'll do that too. And I'm so stoked they expanded it to the low volume version. If you're a smaller paddler, they have the same boat, just shrunk down. And then a high volume version, which is bigger than this one here. So I'm 220, you know, 6'1", 6'2". So the high volume one is going to be wider, deeper. Hopefully it'll fit somebody up to, you know, 300 pounds. I have one. I have not tested it out yet. I will definitely do that. I'll also try to find somebody bigger than myself to paddle it, so I can give you guys some good feedback. If you're in the Redding, Northern California area, and you want to be that guy, hit me up in the comments or hit me up on Instagram. We'd love to connect with some of you guys in person. I'll be really curious to see if we have any water in the hatch after today. And just for the record, like, I would expect to have water in the hatch of pretty much any kayak after today, having surf and water going over the hatches, eddying in and out in this back hatch being fully submerged. I would not be surprised if there was some water inside. But historically, stellar kayaks are very watertight. Their hatches are pretty bomber. So my fingers are crossed for a nice dry boat. But I'm also a realist. I've paddled enough to know that kayaks have a way of getting water in them. So we'll see. Brian, how can people find out about your shop?
So Facebook, Instagram, Headwaters Adventure Company. We do have a website also, headwatersadventure.com.
It's one of the few dealers I work with that actually ships kayaks too. So
yeah, we ship kayaks all over the United States. So if you're looking for a boat and don't have a local dealer, we still highly recommend going to a local dealer. Still the best way to get on the water, sit in the boat, check it out. But if for some reason you're having a hard time finding a boat that you really want to get your hands on, give us a call, hit us up, we can get you taken care of.
Sweet, there you go. Headwaters Adventure Company, no relation. Besides, we're good buddies. I think I've said it in a few videos already, but my parents started a store called Headwaters Adventure Company. I was Headwaters Kayak, and we were like sister stores. So we used the same name, but when they wanted to retire, well, they sold it to Brian. I closed my store, but I still have the YouTube channel. He still does the shop, and it seems to work out fine. Nobody seems to care. I figure if I'm driving people to him, I'm driving them to a good retailer anyway. So everyone wins. You win, he wins, I win, we all win. Let's go check this thing for water. All right. Look at that, bone dry. Awesome, no water at all. Cool, let's check the back. So the Vaseline, you guys, that's the trick. I'm sorry for anybody I got worked up on that first video. I had some people commenting, it's some other dealers. Yeah, bone dry as well. So there you go. If this thing can handle that, I think it'll be fine for most recreational usage. Bone dry after a day of surfing, playing, eddying out, burying the hatches in water. Yeah, pretty good. We should check your dagger, see if it's bone dry. I don't know, why not? Oh,
Yeah, a little bit of water in there.
Yeah, that's pretty dry too.
I'd call it dry. For a dagger, that's dry.
Yeah, for a dagger, that's dry. Anyways, you guys, thanks so much for hanging with us on the Sacramento River. Until next time, this is Dan wishing you happy paddling. We'll see you on the next one.